if you are an Apple, Google, or Facebook user, you are going to want to change your login passwords immediately, as we're hearing that there has been a major breach and exposure of people's data across the nation. Let me go ahead and share with you the latest. And like I said, Apple, Google, Meta, any of these, you're going to want to change those passwords and take precautions immediately. And they're saying the latest updates, install them right now. Don't wait. Take a look at the latest headlines with me. You can see here, Apple, Google, Facebook logins exposed in 184 million breach. Major malware mess. Now, articles have been coming out on this, and they're saying it is time to take some serious precaution right away. 184 million passwords for Google, Apple, and more exposed in a major data breach. So if you use any of these, it is time to change your passwords. Do not wait. They're saying do this today, May 31st, 2025. It is Saturday. Get this taken care of. And take a look. Update in May so far. Data breach 2025, Meta, Coinbase, AT&T, Google, Apple, MNS, and more. Hundreds of millions of people's passwords, logins, data has been compromised. So they are saying it is time to take the latest precautions. Do not hesitate, because the last thing you want is to have your social media, your email, your iPhone accounts hacked. If you haven't changed them in a while, now would be the time to update those. Now, I'm going to be covering the details of what has unfolded, what you can do. In addition to that, there are some other precautions they're saying that you can do to make sure that your accounts are safe and secure. But they're saying do not hesitate. In fact, I'm going to play for you some video footage where they're saying you need to do the latest updates right now. Do not wait. Typically, they say, hey, just go ahead and let it auto update overnight. Are you okay with this? No, now they're saying, Apple is saying, get those updates in right away. So I'm going to get you caught up on the latest. And as always, these articles are going to be hyperlinked in the description, so you can click on them, go read them for yourself if you like. If you are a Meta user, an Apple user, a Google user, if you have any of these, if you got a Gmail, YouTube account, any of those, you might want to take action right away. So I'm going to dive into them. The articles are going to be linked. You can go click on them, see them for yourself. I'm going to play the videos, put the articles on the screen, read right from them, so that way you can see it for yourself and know the latest as of today, May 31st, 2025. And if you appreciate that, don't forget, take a quick second before we dive in, hit that like button for me. That simple gesture just takes a moment, helps out the channel a ton. I appreciate it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date. It's totally free. Why not? I'll let you know everything that's going on. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get you caught up on the latest, so that way you can see it for yourself. Now, in addition to that, we've also got an update about potential power grid issues as well, with the breach from other foreign nations into our infrastructure. So let's go ahead, though, and take a look, so that way you can see it for yourself and know exactly what is going on.
It's certainly going to be interesting. Meantime, data experts urging iPhone owners to install the new iOS 18.5 update as soon as possible, after a massive security gap was found allowing hackers to access our personal information. And I read your note on this that you sent to the producers. All caps, exclamation points. There definitely was a sense of urgency with this one versus others. Why? What's the big deal here?
You know, good question. So the thing is, when Apple confirms that there is something serious about security and, hey, go ahead and download that, not tomorrow, but right now, that's where the bells go off on that one. So normally I'd say just set your iPhone software to update automatically. Well, not today. There's a much more urgent threat. And without this fix, hackers can gain access to sensitive information. We already know it can get into photos, your messages, a lot of the app information. There could be a lot more that we don't know that they're getting into. So here's what I want you to do. Update your iPhone to iOS 18.5 software manually. That means you're going to grab your iPhone, you're going to hit Settings, General, Software Update, and you're just going to force that puppy through rather than wait for it to do it later. And then do yourself a favor and tell your kids, your parents, all the loved ones in your life to say, hey, go ahead and do this, because something weird's going on there that we don't want bad things to happen to you.
Quickly, before we let you go, there is a hack going on right now. 184 million passwords stolen. It's being called the cyber criminal's dream. Why is this hack in particular so important, so vital, so newsworthy? What companies were hacked? What do we need to know?
I mean, if you could name a brand out in big tech, Google, Apple, virtually every Microsoft product that's out there, those passwords and usernames, 184 million, were found in a database that wasn't encrypted. So it's just anybody could look at it. What does that mean to you? Today, just another homework assignment, change all your passwords on virtually every platform where you have sensitive information, and use a password manager, one that will let you really know when you've been breached. Those are the best. Turn on that two-factor authentication if you don't already have that pain in the rear end thing going on. It will save you from trouble down the road. And then you can always scrub yourself off of public databases to sort of go under the radar from all these criminals that are out there. We've just really never seen the kind of amped up criminal activity against Americans that we're seeing now. And we'll show you how to do all that stuff step by step at my website, where we're tracking this story, as well as at foxnews.com/tech.
Sure.
And cyberguy.com, where Carly signed up for my newsletter.
Yes, I have.
Kurt, we want to thank you for joining us and ruining all of our weekends with assignments. Thank you so much. Have a great one, Kurt. Appreciate it.
There you have it, you guys, and let me know your thoughts. Now, have you changed your passwords lately? Have you changed your Gmail account password? Have you changed your Apple ID password lately? Have you changed your Meta passwords lately? If you haven't, now is the time. Have you changed it in the past 6 months? Let me know in the comments. Put yes or no. If you have, then great. You might want to do it again. Now, if you haven't, might be a good idea to do so right away, because we're hearing there was a major data breach and over 184 million people's information was compromised. Apple, Google, Facebook among those. I also heard ones like Spotify, PayPal were included in there as well. So you might want to change your PayPal passwords, ones that have access to your bank account information. Definitely do not sleep on this. They're saying this was the hacker's dream. Major hack took place, and they are saying to take precautions right now. So let me know. Have you done so recently? Yes or no? And if the answer is no, after this live stream, you might want to do some changes right away, because right now we're hearing that your information is out there. If you've got Apple, Google, Facebook, I heard PayPal, Spotify. There were several different ones that they said were hit. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at one of these articles so that way you can see it for yourself. Major malware mess. Apple, Google, Facebook logins exposed, 184 million breach. Now it says a staggering cybersecurity incident has come to light following the discovery of an unprotected database containing over 184 million unique login credentials, including those from services like Apple, Google, Microsoft, and various government domains as well. Unearthed by researcher Jeremiah Fowler, the 47.42 gigabyte data trove underscores the methods that cybercriminals employ to amass and exploit digital identities. The database wasn't linked to any single company, which is what makes this breach so disturbing. Instead, the records are believed to have been gathered via InfoStealer malware, malicious software that silently extracts login data, autofills details, and other personal information from infected devices, with the potential for mass-scale identity theft, financial fraud, and unauthorized access to sensitive platforms. This discovery is among the most serious data leak in recent years. Now, why it matters? Because the scale of the credentials exposed across social media, email providers, financial services, and even .gov accounts reflects how pervasive and effective InfoStealer malware has become. This leak serves as a dire warning that traditional password practices and breach response models are no longer enough. The time for proactive, multi-layer cyber hygiene is now. And you heard them say you want to have different passwords for your different logins. Don't have the same one, because that is an easy way, if one is discovered, to get all of your accounts hacked. Massive and diverse exposure. The compromised database controlled 184,162,718 login password combinations spread across services such as Apple, Discord, Facebook, Google, Microsoft, WordPress, Roblox, and Yahoo. It included data from hundreds of thousands of platforms, suggesting widespread infection across user bases rather than a centralized breach. Many entries contain sensitive links like authorization URLs and credentials for financial, healthcare, and government services. InfoStealers, the real culprit behind the leak, Fowler attributes the breach not to negligence by a company, but to InfoStealer malware designed to mine credentials from users' devices. These malware variants are increasingly complex, capable of logging keystrokes, capturing screenshots, extracting browser-stored passwords, and pulling sensitive documents. Tools like LumaStealer, previously targeted by authorities, are part of a growing ecosystem of cybercriminal operations trafficking in stolen credentials. Confirmed authenticity and international scope. To verify the leak, Fowler contacted multiple individuals whose data appeared in the breach, and several confirmed the credentials were authentic. Screenshots show government-affiliated email addresses from countries like Australia, Iran, Romania, Brazil, and India, suggesting that compromised data extended far beyond consumer services and into potential high-risk institutional sectors. Scales suggest systemic infection rather than a single breach. The presence of such diverse data implies this wasn't an isolated breach, but the result of widespread malware deployment. Because a single infected device can leak credentials for multiple services, millions of people could be affected, even if each device accounts for dozens of hundreds of unique login records. Now, the true number of compromised individuals may never be fully known, especially since it's unclear who else accessed the data before it was taken offline. Here are actionable steps for personal cybersecurity. Fowler and cybersecurity experts recommend a number of urgent defense actions that you should take right now. These include using unique, complex passwords for each service. So make sure that you don't have the same password across different accounts. Enabling two-factor authentication, or 2FA, and reducing sensitive data stored in your email inboxes. People are advised to run anti-malware scans regularly and to stay cautious about downloads and links, as phishing emails and malicious websites remain top infection vectors. Additionally, tools like Malwarebytes Digital Footprint Portal can help users determine whether their information is already circulating online. So there you have it, you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Have you made these changes recently? Have you changed your passwords? Do you have two-factor authentication? If not, now might be the time, because we're hearing major data leak going out. And they're saying the hackers are getting more sophisticated. 184 million. And I see somebody saying, I use password for my password. Yeah, you might want to come up with something different than password. And they're also saying don't use the same password across different accounts, because major hacks taking place, getting access to various different account information. So make sure that you are aware of that. And like I said, these articles are going to be linked down in the description below, so you can take a look for yourself. 184 million passwords for Google, Apple, and more exposed in a data breach. It says a cybersecurity researcher found a mysterious database that was publicly exposed and included more than 184 million passwords. The login information and passwords included Google, Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, your Instagram, Snapchat, Roblox, and many more. Some of the passwords were linked to government portals that could put exposed individuals at serious risk. Now, in a recent blog, more than 184 million passwords and login information, including Google, Apple, and government accounts, were exposed through a mysterious publicly exposed database that has since been taken offline. In a recent blog post, Jeremiah Fowler, a longtime cybersecurity researcher, said that the database wasn't password protected or encrypted, and it had 184.2 million logins and passwords, more than 47 gigabytes of raw data. It was a dream come true for a cybercriminal. So here's what we know. Fowler believes that the exposed data may have been obtained by using a type of InfoStealer malware, a malicious software that can infect a system and extract sensitive information like the kind stored in web browsers, email accounts, and messaging apps. The database is hosted by the World Host Group, a company that manages operating systems for more than 2 million websites, according to Wired. But the mysterious trove of logins and other personal information is an unmanaged server fully controlled by a fraudulent user, the company said. So here's what we don't know. Fowler hasn't confirmed exactly how the database was collected, but he says that there's a lot of evidence pointing to the info-stealing malware. Cybercriminals often deploy malware through phishing emails, malicious websites, or cracked software, he said. The stolen data is typically shared on the dark web and Telegram channels or used to commit fraud, identity theft, and more by cyber attackers. So here's what they're saying. The database contained login and password credentials for a wide range of services, applications, and accounts, including email providers, Microsoft products, Facebook and Instagram, Snapchat, Roblox, and many more. I also saw credentials for bank and financial accounts, health platforms, and government portals from numerous countries that could put exposed individuals at significant risk. Fowler said millions of people keep years' worth of sensitive information in their email accounts, including tax documents, medical records, passwords, and more. If cybercriminals have access to you, you are at risk of having your data stolen. So here's what you can do. Fowler recommends keeping track of which sensitive data is stored in your email account and deleting emails that contain important files. He said to use an encrypted cloud storage method instead of email if you have to share personal information. If you're still using the same passwords on multiple accounts and devices, you're making it easier for cybercriminals to gain unauthorized access by using automated scripts to try to log in and password combinations for thousands of websites. Even if one account is still active and they gain unauthorized access, it could create serious security risks and open the door for a wide range of potential attacks. So there you have it, you guys. Make sure that you are taking precautions immediately, because right now we're hearing that this is huge. I see David saying big shout out to Steve Ram. Keep bringing us the news. Will do. Want to make sure that everyone is aware of this. I actually got this email 2 days ago in the middle of the night. I got an update and it said, change your passwords right now. Major cybersecurity issue for Meta, Apple, Google. And there was a big list of them. And so immediately got up and made sure to change all of my passwords right away. And I recommend that everybody do the same, because the last thing you want is for somebody to get a hold of that and suddenly all of your information is compromised. So in addition to that, we're also hearing warnings again of cyber attacks from other nations against our power grid. Now, we've been hearing the warnings about this from the FBI for quite some time. If more comes out on this, I'll be sure to keep you guys up to date. But take a look at the latest video footage coming out as well. This coming out today, May 31st, 2025. So a lot going on with cyber security for us personally and for our nation's infrastructure. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Everybody use solar panels. Well, so much for that. Engineers have reportedly discovered hidden kill switches in Chinese manufactured parts being used in American solar farms.
Chinese solar inverters have already been called national security risk. It's begging the question, can bad actors in Beijing weaponize these Chinese manufactured products to trigger a U.S. power grid blackout or malfunction? FCC Commissioner Nathan Symington joins us now. Commissioner, thanks for being here. You know, what's incredible when I first heard about this stories is that it was way back in 2019 when I thought Congress decided that we weren't going to have any more of these Huawei systems installed on U.S. soil, because Huawei is the group behind all of this spyware stuff. So what happened to that 2019 passage of an anti-Huawei bill?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a pleasure to be here, Doug and David. So Huawei is one manufacturer of photovoltaic inverters, so the devices that convert the DC power generated in a solar panel into AC power that can be injected into the grid. However, Huawei is only one of several manufacturers. In fact, Chinese companies own between 70 and 80% of the total worldwide market in PV inverters, with 9 of the top 10 companies. So even if you get Huawei out, you're no closer to getting Chinese equipment out.
But, Commissioner, you have to figure out a way to prevent the Chinese Communist Party from infiltrating a growing part of our electricity production. And how in the government, David and I get the government out of our business. However, the government does need to perform a role in protecting the safety and security of our power grid. How does the government get inside these solar panels?
Great question. So the kill switch that they're talking about is an undocumented cellular module. So even if the power company that's operating that solar farm is trying to prevent that solar panel from getting out through its network, the solar panel essentially has a cell phone of its own through which it can send and receive instructions, including kill switch instructions. And of course, by altering the mix of power going into the grid or sending too much, sending too little, you can cause a blackout. So it's a very serious problem. You're right to be worried about it. The problem is with everything connected, everything online, everything wireless, everything in some sense on the internet, we can't assume that anything is secure, and therefore we have to take a very hard line across all domains. This might be Department of Energy, it might be the FCC, it might be on import restrictions, it might simply be through bolstering our own domestic industry, because after all, this is a technology that originated in the United States before being scaled up massively in the People's Republic of China. So there are a wide variety of agencies in the government that have potential responsibility here.
I just wonder why your FCC predecessors didn't see this. Of course, the spyware wasn't in the product descriptions, but they should have seen some of this before. We got to leave it here. Yes or no on that question? Shouldn't your predecessors have seen this?
Well, with this, of course, the difficulty is that the FCC licenses wireless networking equipment for import and sale into the United States. But essentially, we're talking about a case of smuggling here.
Right,
if we had known that module were on there, that would be one question. But it simply wasn't in the trade manifest. And this isn't the first time either that we've run into something like this. It's also happened with ship-to-shore cranes.
Gotcha. Commissioner, we got to leave it at that.
It's
Nathan
generally
Simon,
a pervasive problem.
Thank you very much for being here. Have a great weekend.
There you have it, you guys. So not only personal breaches, but also we're hearing that our infrastructure, our power grids have been compromised as well. So be sure to take precautions. Make sure that you've got all your devices, your accounts, your passwords updated, changed, two-factor authentication, because right now we're hearing a major data breach. The latest updates coming out today, May 31st, 2025, has taken place on Google accounts, Apple accounts, Meta accounts, PayPal accounts. They even said bank accounts. So it just might be a good reminder to go through, start updating and changing all of those passwords, and make sure that you've got necessary precautions in place. We wanted to make sure that you guys got the latest updated information on that. And like I said, these articles are going to be linked in the description below. And all you really got to do right now is look up Apple, Google, Meta breach. You'll see this all over right now. So hope that this is helpful. Spread this around. Let people know. Don't just update your passwords, but be sure to share so that way loved ones and friends and family members can make sure that they're doing everything they can to take precaution as well. But that is the latest, you guys. Wanted to let you know what's going on. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't done so yet and you made it this far, don't forget, take a quick second, hit that like button, subscribe to stay up to date, and I will catch you in the next one. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.